Why you ain't say you was getting bored? Why you ain't say I was falling short? How you leave me out so far away? How could it be 20-something all alone still not a thing in my name? Ain't got nothing running from love, only no fear. That's me, Miss 20-something. Ain't got nothing running from love, wish you were here. Oh. Stuck in them 20-somethings, stuck in them 20-somethings. Good luck on them 20-somethings, good luck on them 20-somethings. But God bless these 20-somethings. God bless, oh God bless, oh God bless, oh. Hoping my 20-somethings won't end, hoping to keep the rest of my friends. Praying the 20-somethings don't kill me, kill me. Weird. Took us so long to separate. I feel it's permanent, like a riptide this time. Waves crashing fast, I try. Think of the past, please stay. How could it be 20-something all alone still not a phone in my name? Ain't got nothing running from love, only no fear. That's me, Miss 20-something. Ain't got nothing running from love, wish you were here. Stuck in them 20-somethings, stuck in them 20-somethings. Good luck on them 20-somethings, good luck on them 20-somethings. Oh, God bless them 20-somethings. Hoping my 20-somethings won't end, hoping to keep the rest of my friends. Praying the 20-somethings don't kill me, kill me.
If it's an illusion, I don't want to wake up. I'm going to hang on to it, because the alternative is an abyss. Is just a hole, a darkness, and nothingness. Ooh, what's that? You know. So that's what I think about control, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
That was beautiful, Mommy. That was perfect.
Told you not to worry, but maybe that's a lie. Honey, what's your hurry? Won't you stay inside? Remember not to get too close to stars. They're never gonna give you love like ours. Where did you go? I should know, but it's cold and I don't wanna be lonely, so show me the way home. I can't lose another life. The world's a little blurry, or maybe it's my eyes. The friends I've had to bury, they keep me up at night. Said I couldn't love someone, 'cause I might break. If you're gonna die, not by mistake. So where did you go? I should know, but it's cold and I don't wanna be lonely, so tell me you come home. Even if it's just a lie, I tried not to upset you, let you rescue me the day I met you. I just wanted to protect you. Where did you go? I should know, but it's cold and I don't wanna be lonely. Was hoping you'd come home. I don't care if it's a lie.
A woman's work, a woman's prerogative, a woman's time to embrace, she must put herself first. A woman's touch, a sacred geometry. I know where you start, where you end, how to please, how to curse. Yes, I heard you needed me. Yes, I'm here to open you. Yes, I know that your heart is blue. So cold, I fever for the fire. True as...
Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of the Seabury Quinn Jr. Festival of New Plays. It is the 27th annual of those festivals that I was supposed to start with 27th annual, but then I didn't. But then I felt like I should put it in at the end.
It was good. It was seamless.
It was seamless. It felt really great. So welcome. Today we are going to present first year MFA student Eryn Elyse McVay's play, What the Gods Gave Me. I'm Stephen Strafford. I'm also a first year MFA playwright, and with me today
is Mary Beekler, director of the School of Theater and alumni of the OU MFA playwriting program. Welcome, everyone.
Eryn wanted us to give you a couple of content warnings for the reading today. The play today includes descriptions of violence and gaslighting. Just she wanted you to know that ahead of the reading. After the reading, we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we will have a roundtable discussion with some guest mentors. And we are very excited to have these guest mentors. And to tell you why we're excited, I'm going to read just a little bit of their bios for you. Our mentors today are Martine Key Green Rogers, Aaron Carter, and Julie Felise Dubiner. Martine Key Green Rogers is an associate professor at SUNY New Paltz, the past president of the Literary Managers and Dramaturgs of the Americas, and the fellowship associate at the Playwright Center. Martine's also our marathoner. She is responding to all 7 plays in the festival, and so we're deeply grateful to her. And there's one other piece of information that I won't say right. So what is that, Mary?
She has also just been named the interim dean of the Division of Liberal Arts at the University of North Carolina School of the Arts. Woo, go Pickles!
Pickles is the team name for that school, yes.
That is correct.
Yep, excellent. Just in case anyone thought we might have taken a quick sidebar. Aaron Carter is a playwright, arts administrator, and television writer who has worked with Steppenwolf Theater Company, CBS, and Netflix. He is a graduate of the OU MFA playwriting program. Julie Felise Dubiner is a dramaturg, consultant, and producer who has been the artistic director of American Revolutions at Oregon Shakespeare Festival and the resident dramaturg at Actors Theater of Louisville and Prince Music Theater. So we're very excited to have them because they are all very fancy, and we've been very grateful for their feedback so far. So now, without further ado, let's all enjoy first year MFA student Eryn Elyse McVay's What the Gods Gave Me.
What the Gods Gave Me by Eryn Elyse McVay. Characters: Bedelia, she, her, a guardian. Protective, set in her ways, played by Manda Neal. Victoria, she, her, a knowledge seeker. Curious, dissatisfied, rebellious, played by Kari Willenbrink. Sophie, she, her, an artist. Affectionate, creative, a peacemaker, played by McColley. Margaret, she, her, the bait. Enchanting, dutiful, loyal, played by Gillian Abrams. Henrik, he, him, an offering. Well-intentioned, privileged, doomed, played by Alec. And stage directions read by Brenna Doherty. Act 1, Scene 1, Full Moon Rising. A stage in darkness, the only light coming from a row of candles on the mantel. The flickering lights illuminate a painting of a decrepit woman. She is emaciated, and bits of bone peek through her taut skin. Her eyes are huge and sit like orbs in her skull-like face. Her jaw is unhinged in an inhuman fashion. She lifts a fully grown man who looks miniature in comparison to her own massive stature and dangles him above her gaping mouth. Spot on Victoria, standing on an exposed stretch of hallway above the mantel open to the space below.
We are the descendants of our mothers before. We are of them and they are of us. Our breath given through their strength will be the wind on which we howl. Our voice given through their sacrifice will be the thunder through which we rumble. Our agency given through their blood will be the path on which we tread.
Spot up on Sophie, standing in the hall with Victoria.
We see, recognize, and accept the gifts of our birthright, truth, autonomy, power, and volume, and strive each day to live in a way that honors these gifts and the mothers who died to give them.
Spot up on Margaret. She wears clothes for traveling and holds a suitcase in one hand. She stands apart from the world.
We reject the false bonds that threaten to tie us. We reject the expectations of those that threaten to silence us. We reject the systems we had no hand in creating.
A final spot up on Bedelia. She is on the ground floor in front of the painting.
We are the descendants of our mothers before us, and we will live in a way that honors their lives and deaths until we return to the dirt as they did, as will the daughters that come after us.
Bedelia and Margaret disappear. The candles all go out. Above the stage on audience left hangs a moon. It is full and glows, then lights illuminate the rest of the world. It is one open Victorian-era parlor room. On one side of the stage is a set of stairs leading up to the bedrooms. Along the wall leading upstairs are a series of family portraits from each generation past, leading up to the present-day portraits of the four women. There are 8 portraits in total. Nowhere in any of the portraits are there men. The second floor hallway is open to the parlor. We can see 3 bedroom doors off the open hallway, Victoria, Margaret, and Sophie's. On the directly upstage wall, beneath the exposed second floor hallway, is a grand fireplace and large, tall windows. On the ground floor is a door leading to the kitchen and another leading to Bedelia's bedroom. Scene 2, Full Moon, Part 1. Sophie in the middle of the parlor. She raises her hands above her head, then brings them down hard. She resets, stretches, adjusts her body a bit, does it again.
What are you doing?
Practicing how I'm going to kill Henrik.
I didn't know Bedelia made her decision. Congrats.
She didn't. That's why I have to practice. I just know Margaret's going to have this super smart and intelligent, well-spoken argument about why she should get to kill him, and I'm not great at words. I mean, speech making isn't really my talent.
What are you talking about? You're very, very great at words.
So I need to show that I'm the most physically capable.
And what is?
She imitates Sophie's gesture.
I'm bludgeoning him.
Oh, of course, right.
I've been practicing in the mirror for hours. My arm is sore, damn it.
No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. You just caught me off guard. I didn't think you'd go the blunt force trauma route. You seem more like the discreetly poisoning type.
I thought bludgeoning seemed decisive. What?
Decisiveness requires tactile sensations. Any real decision gets made with your bare hands. My advice, ditch the weapons.
Great. So all that time wasted.
I'm sorry. I'm teasing. I should have just kept my mouth shut. Your bludgeoning form is excellent, and I'm sure Bedelia will be so impressed she'll have no other option but to choose you over Margaret.
Thanks. And if she chooses you?
She won't.
She might.
You're sweet, but I'm not. I'm going to tell her that it should be you.
Why?
I'm not trying to be noble or selfless. I really, truly just don't care. And you care a lot. And if it's between you or Margaret, then I want it to be you. You deserve the endowment.
You're not even gonna try?
No. And anyway, I have other stuff going on. I'll have you know I'm very busy. Booked solid through the next few weeks.
You're funny.
I'm serious. I think I made a breakthrough with the moon.
Bedelia told you to stop.
I'm not denying the mother's teachings. We are of her light, and just as she changes every day, so do we. I'm not doubting any of that. I just think there's more to it.
The moon is the first mother. She gave us our lives, our freedom, this house, everything we have. Why can't you just trust that?
I'm not saying that it's not true. Just wait, okay? I'll be right back.
Victoria runs up to her room. While she's gone, Sophie opens the piano and starts playing. Victoria returns with a notebook and goes to Sophie, who stops playing. Victoria shows her a page in the notebook.
Look at the stars in relationship with the moon. Don't you see how they stay in the same pattern, just slightly like...
Not really.
It's all connected.
Yes, we are of her and she is of us.
No, like all of it. The ground and the sky and the stars and the moon, it's all rotating and there's a clear pattern.
Maybe if you focus more on participating in the right and less on things we already know, Mama might choose you for the endowment.
But if she chooses me, then you won't get it.
I said might.
Don't worry about me. Worry about practicing your bludgeoning form because it really does need some work. Was that something new you're working on?
Yeah, kind of.
Can I hear more?
It's not. It's just kind of an idea right now, nothing concrete.
You don't have to show me if you don't want to.
I didn't say I didn't want to, just. It's a work in progress, okay?
Sophie begins to play. It's simple but beautiful. She stops abruptly.
No, that's bad. Wait.
She repeats a few measures, mostly the same but with a few changes.
And then what if...
A few more measures. She again stops abruptly on an unresolved chord.
Yeah, sorry, one sec before I forget.
Sophie opens the piano bench and pulls out some sheets of paper. Using an ink pot and quill that sits on top of the piano, she starts to notate on a piece of in-progress sheet music.
That's really beautiful.
Shh. Sorry, just hold on. Ugh, this ink is so watered down, I can barely see what I'm... First thing when we get more money, I'm sending an order for an entire case of pitch black ink.
Were you making all that up in the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought about, like, showing your stuff? Your sheet music?
To who?
I mean, I don't know who specifically, but, like, your songs are good.
Duh.
So humble. I've always admired that about you. But haven't you ever thought about if the right people saw your music, you could, like, perform it?
We shouldn't be talking about this.
You are an outstanding musician. People should hear your work.
People do hear my work.
People other than me, Bedelia, and Maggie.
She's probably already here. You should get changed.
What's the point of writing all those operas and symphonies if no one will ever hear them?
I don't write music for attention or fame or a spotlight. I write because I love writing music. And I think remaining unknown and obscure is a pretty fair price for my freedom. Please, just I don't want to talk about this anymore. Or ever.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you going to ask for when you become endowed?
If I become
When?
an ink pot that never empties.
If you don't want to tell me, I get it.
No, it's not that. I'm going to ask that when the time comes, that the mothers take me first. So I never have to know what it is to live without you and Maggie.
Your heart's desire is to, what, die first?
Well, when you say it like that.
We're all going to live for a very, very long time.
Things happen.
Nothing's going to happen.
It did last time. Your mother?
That was months after the rite. Nothing except a doctor could have changed that.
I disagree. I have faith that...
You could ask for anything and you would waste it on...
It's not a waste.
That was a poor choice of words.
You asked me. You brought it up.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Your response took me off guard. You're just so good, sometimes it makes me say dumb things.
It wasn't dumb. Just kind of rude. He said, sorry, let's move past it.
Stop being so good.
I'm really not.
You are. You're the best of us, and no one deserves to be endowed more than you.
Sophie starts playing piano again.
You're not dressed.
What's wrong with what I...
You cannot be in pants when he arrives.
I mean, I could be in pants. You just don't want me to be.
You don't understand that the success of the rite will ensure our survival. The survival of your future daughters.
Of course I do. I just don't understand why what I'm wearing has to do with anything with it.
And in order to be successful, he has to trust us fully. So if he sees you in that, he'll start to wonder what kind of place this is and start asking questions. You know, questions lead to actions, actions lead to disaster. What you're wearing has everything to do with it. Get changed. Now.
Victoria starts to walk up to her room.
Do I look okay?
You are so gorgeous. How did I create someone so beautiful?
Look at you. How could you not?
Oh, no. Oh, my mouth, my eyes, I'm all puffy.
Sophie, don't. She's fishing for compliments.
Ignore her.
I wish she would.
That girl is... No. I won't let her work me up.
Can I get you some tea?
Yes, thank you. Wait. Actually.
Bedelia goes to the sideboard and gets out a decanter of liquor and a glass. She pours a measure and drinks. She raises the decanter in Sophie's direction.
Sweetie?
No, thank you.
Bedelia sits with her drink. She is stiff and fidgets. Sophie goes to stand behind her and starts rubbing her shoulders.
Wow.
Is it tight?
A little.
Oh, that feels amazing. You have no idea.
Ma.
Hmm?
I know that Vic can be tricky to deal with sometimes.
This is not helping my stress levels.
But maybe you could be a little easier on her.
It's not like I like being this way, but she knows exactly how to push my buttons.
Yes, I am way too familiar.
I think well, I try not to think about what happened to her mother, but I just can't believe it's already time for another rite. It doesn't feel like it's been 23 years, and it's all just bringing up a lot of thoughts and memories I really thought I'd moved past. but I guess not. And I just can't find myself. I just find myself replaying it over and over in my head and wondering if I had been more dedicated, more focused on the right, if I had prayed harder, maybe she would still be here. And I can't help but feel like it's a punishment. Losing her is punishment from the mothers for not being more. Or if I had been more, then maybe...
It wasn't your fault.
I know that. Oh, I am such a mess. Oh, that's enough. Oh, there's no need for all this to... Okay.
Mama, before Maggie, I wanted to show you something that I've been...
The sound of approaching horses.
Oh, Victoria!
Bedelia gets up, fussing with the room and her appearance. Amid Bedelia's chaos, Sophie goes to the sideboard unnoticed and pours herself some liquor, knocking it back.
Victoria, they're here!
Placing a corset! By myself, might I add.
Bedelia goes to the sideboard where Sophie is standing. Bedelia pours herself another measure of liquor and drinks. She puts away the alcohol. Muffled voices heard from outside.
Don't be scared. Never forget who's in power here.
Yes, you can bring everything in the front. You tipped him, didn't you? Well, quickly before he leaves.
Margaret rushes to Bedelia and embraces her.
You know, have no idea how happy I am to be home.
Oh, not as happy as I am to have you home.
Where is he?
Paying the coachman. I cannot wait to be rid of him.
What's he like?
Very, very wealthy.
Oh, you've done so well.
Where's Victoria?
Hey, sweetie. Do you know that your roof is missing shingles? Like, a pretty good handful, actually. Yeah, I can see at least half a dozen, and that's just a quick glance, not even a thorough inspection. You should really get that looked at before the snow gets here, and I mean, I'm more than happy to do it. It's not like I can't. I wasn't trying to say that. So long as you have basic supplies and tools, I can get that patched up right for you, babe. Babe?
Henrik enters, carrying an obscene amount of bags. Loose from the rest of the luggage is a sizable textbook that he carries in his arms.
Oh, sorry, am I interrupting?
No, not at all.
Well, this is Henrik, my husband.
Henrik puts the bags down right in the entryway. He sets the textbook on a nearby table.
Hi, Henrik.
Sweetie, this is my mother, Bedelia, and my sister, Sophie.
Ah, yes, your twin.
Yeah, it runs in the family. Hi.
Welcome to Nevermoore, Henrik.
And this is my other sister, Victoria.
We're half-sisters. Soph and Margaret are full-blooded, but we're half-sisters.
Yes, our family tree is riveting.
Half, full. Any family of Mags is my family now, too. So nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
So thank you so much for having us stay. I mean, not like this is Mag's home, but what I mean is, okay, let's address the elephant in the room. Right, babe? Just get it over with. We eloped. And I know you don't know me, but Mrs. Bedelia, I just want to say that I adore your daughter so much. She's just like, I mean, I really can't find the words. So I just want to assure you that even though you might be like, who's this random guy? What's he doing with my daughter? I would never hurt her. Ever. And that's a promise.
Well, thank you for saying so. Please come sit down. How was the trip? Were the roads okay? Comfortable accommodations?
It was long and exhausting. We spent far too long in town after the ceremony, but all of Henrik's coworkers wanted to take us out for drinks or dinner or dancing or so much small talk, I thought I might implode.
And what do you do, Henrik?
I'm a professor at the university.
He's head of the astronomy department, the youngest department head on campus.
Well, it doesn't hurt that father is a very generous donor.
You study astronomy?
Afraid so.
What's up with the moon?
You'll have to be a little more specific.
Sweetie, not now. It's time to celebrate. Why don't you go get the refreshments?
Why me?
Victoria.
Margaret.
Okay, girl, rein in the attitude. We have a guest.
Girl.
Victoria, please.
I'll get it. Sophie goes to the kitchen before anyone can argue. She returns with a tray. On it are 4 wine glasses, all filled with an identical amount of wine.
Was that a cab? Or, no, Merlot.
I think it's a blend.
Ah. So, do we toast or?
Actually, no. Well, yes and no. I guess you might call it a toast, but we pray.
Oh. Well, I've never really prayed before, but I'm always open to learning new things.
You don't say anything. It's a thing. It's like you'll see. You just close your eyes. I mean, we all will too. And then we say the prayer and then we all drink. And we drink it all at once.
Party time. I like it. Well, wait, there's not enough for everyone.
Oh, I don't partake. Alcohol upsets my stomach.
Sophie, Margaret, and Victoria take their glasses. They stand. Henrik stands too, following suit.
We bless this offering that it may keep our bodies strong and fruitful, keep our minds sharp, and ensure that our lineage not just survive, but blossom and thrive. Each drop is a remembrance of where we have been and where we refuse to return.
Oh, this is strong. Wow. You ladies can hold your liquor. Whew, excuse me.
Sophie starts gathering up the glasses.
Do you need help? Got it. You need help.
Victoria and Sophie take the glasses to the kitchen.
Okay, so what's next? Shots?
You know, I just remembered I need to check on the kitchen.
They're so nice.
Yeah, they're the best. I've missed them.
So you didn't tell me how religious you are.
I told you about the holiday.
No, I know, but that whole prayer thing, that was kind of, I don't know. I just didn't know you were like that.
I didn't see how it was relevant at the time.
Well, Mags, I mean, what about when we have a family on our own? I don't really know anything about this whole. I feel it should have come up.
Can we just put a pin in this conversation?
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Great. I'm just tired. Actually, do you think you could take our bags up to my room? I think I want to say goodnight and just turn in.
Oh, isn't there more like festivities or?
Not tonight, no. It's a 4-week holiday, so everything's spaced out. Trust me, it's fine.
Whatever you say.
First door.
Got it.
And Henrik?
Yeah, babe?
Can you go ahead and put my clothes in the dresser? Thanks.
Yep. Of course.
Henrik exits with the bags. The textbook remains to the side.
Oh, now you show all your faces.
Of all men, Margaret, how are you?
I want to say exhausted, but that's an understatement.
So, when you say very, very wealthy?
Margaret pulls out an envelope and hands it to Bedelia. She opens it and pulls out a piece of paper. Sophie and Victoria crowd her to read over her shoulder.
I know.
He has a house too?
Mm-hmm. Near the university. It was Daddy's wedding present to him. And once he's gone, according to that, Notice it's been notarized. All of his capital will go to his poor, grieving young widow.
Nicely done, Maggie.
Has it been unbearable?
I'm fine, really. It was kind of fun. It's like all one big game, one I know I can't lose.
What was it like in town?
It was sad. So many rules about how to speak and to behave, and the only thing single women ever talk about was finding a husband. It broke my heart, but luckily I met him my first week there, and he's easily swayed. We were only seeing each other for a few weeks before he proposed.
Full month with him? Ooh.
You'll get used to it after a while. He just kind of becomes a background noise, like a fly buzzing around.
Babe?
Yeah?
So I'm unpacking your stuff and there's like definitely not enough room in your dresser for everything. Should I hang stuff up too, or?
No, babe, it fits. I'll just come up. Well, good night, everyone. Get a good night's rest. Or in my case, try to get a good night's rest. See you in the morning.
I didn't think he'd be so
simple.
I was going to say annoying, but yeah, simple works too.
Poor Margaret.
But look at this. I mean, we'll be secure for a really long time, right? Right, Mama?
Yes. This is enough to see me through to the end.
Okay, I'm not old enough for you to start crying over your own death. You are going to be around for a very long time, stubborn woman. No tears.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just a mess today. Too many bad memories.
No more bad memories. We're making good memories right now. That's what matters.
Yes. Yes, you're right. And Margaret's right. We should all get a good night's sleep.
I'm going to stay up a bit. Read.
You can read in your room.
But I want to do it out here.
Don't whine. You're too old to whine. Now I really mean it. Bed, both of you. No reading, no lights on.
What did I do?
Just, please, get your rest. And Victoria, if you can't be bothered to put on the necessary clothing tomorrow, then don't bother yourself with coming down at all.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Good night.
Good night.
The two girls exit into their rooms. Bedelia tidies up a few things. She goes to the stairs and looks at the family portraits on the walls. The portrait that is most recent and closest to the ground floor features Bedelia in the center with younger versions of Sophie, Victoria, and Margaret surrounding her. In the portrait next to this one are three women, one adult and two teenagers. Bedelia looks at this portrait. She kisses her fingertips, then presses them to the mouth of one of the teenagers in the portrait. She crosses toward her bedroom, stops at the mantel, blows out the candle below the painting of the man-eater, then exits to her room. Scene 2, asynchronous rotation. The middle of that night. Henrik enters and goes downstairs. He moves quickly but quietly, then exits into the kitchen. Victoria enters. She wears boots and an overcoat. As she descends the stairs, she notices the textbook and picks it up. She thumbs through it, then settles on a page. She reads.
What are you doing?
She points to Bedelia's door. They move all the way downstage, as far from her door as possible.
Sorry. Oh, my book.
What is this?
It's my textbook. It's just the first print. I need to look it over while I'm here, make sure everything looks good before sending it out to the printing press. Thought it'd be a good way to keep busy since we're here for a whole month.
This section on the... There's a chart here of the sky and how it, I've been studying this for months.
Victoria pulls her notebook out and shows it to Henrik.
I knew it. I knew that everything seemed to be rotating together in harmony, depending on the season
Right?
and I can't believe we've been working to prove the same theory.
I mean, this is a textbook. It's just informational.
Okay.
I mean, you haven't even gotten to the interesting stuff. This is just the introduction. A basic explanation of lunar cycles, and
But this is going to change the world. This is new knowledge.
this isn't new. Like I said, this is just the intro. If you turn to, there have been some really amazing discoveries about.
I'm sorry. So, like when you say it isn't new,
It's just everyone knows all this junk. It's really not the focus of the text. It's just some necessary background to help contextualize some of the later chapters. How long have you been interested in astronomy?
I've been doing these charts since summer. I was going to, I had plans to, every night I go out and draw what the sky looks like, the moon and stars. And I was going to do it for a full year, see if there was a pattern that repeats, or, I mean, sometimes it's cloudy, so.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, there's a pattern. See?
Yeah, I see.
So did you not go to school, or?
We were all taught at home.
Well, you'd love a proper education. There are some great courses at the university you could take. We have a fairly new observatory as well. You can see that it's pretty unbelievable.
What's an observatory?
Oh, a big, I mean a massive telescope so you can look into space.
Are you serious?
Yeah. If you want, I could go to the village and send for some informational materials on the courses and programs, and I wouldn't mind putting in a good word with the admissions department if you.
It'll never happen.
Oh. Sorry, you just seemed interested.
I am. That sounds like the best thing in the entire world. You can see into space? Like, look at stars.
And planets. And other moons.
Other moons?
You know what? Hang on to this. Read through as much as you want. I really don't mind sending for an application and reaching out.
Bedelia would never let me go.
You never know until you ask.
Yes, I do. And the answer would be no.
So change your mind and then ask her.
Just ask her.
Sure. And if she says no, well, you're an adult. You could just go anyway.
She'd hate me. Bedelia and I, it's not like I want her to hate me. I wouldn't want to go if I didn't have her support. Our relationship is already kind of weird, I guess. I don't want to make it worse.
Then get her support. You just spent months meticulously tracking and logging the movements of stars without any prior knowledge or training in this field. If this is something you really want, it seems like you have the right frame of mind to get it. Am I off base?
At the end of the winter celebration, it's tradition that one of us, me, Maggie, or Soph, gets a special gift. Kind of a coming of age thing. Basically, we can ask Bedelia for something, in her words. We'll get our heart's desire. It's a big deal in the family. Only one of us will get it, ever. And I wasn't really planning on trying to, what I'm trying to say is I didn't know what to ask for. So I wasn't planning on trying to get it. And I mean, you're right. I guess I could just leave, go to school, But she'd never speak to me again.
I'm sure she would.
No, she wouldn't. Just trust me, she wouldn't. And I don't want that. I feel like a little kid saying this, but it would mean everything if she actually supported me on. I don't want to do it without her support. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, so maybe if I just never really saw myself going for it, but maybe I should? The gift thingy. Are there women at the university? Students, I mean?
Oh yeah, lots. It's always so fun to see what kind of subjects they're interested in. Very few show any real affinity for astronomy, but this is exactly the kind of curiosity and raw talent that makes someone stand out.
Really?
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't know how much you and Maggie have talked about our home life.
Not a ton. She's the word guarded comes to mind.
That's a good way to put it. But yeah, Bedelia's just big on family and tradition. Nevermoore has been in our family for like 8 generations, and it's just really important to her that we all stay together.
How did you all come to own this house?
Well, the history gets a little muddy, but to keep it simple, it was a gift.
I thought as much.
I've never felt very at home here, to be perfectly honest.
It is kind of creepy.
I'm not scared of it, but just... Do you believe in destiny?
We can't prove it doesn't exist.
But do you believe in it?
When I was growing up, my dad was very, very adamant that I would go into academia. So he would fill all of my free time with like I had these really extensive reading lists I had to go through, dense stuff, or languages he'd expect me to master, stuff like that. And I mean, what teenage boy wants to spend all day with his nose in books? Especially when, I know you haven't seen my parents' place, but it sits on this really, really beautiful cliff right over the beach. And I mean, it was torture sitting inside, seeing the ocean and the seagulls and just, yeah. So I would, oh my God, I feel so bad about this now. But when I didn't want to do academic work, I would start a small fire. Nothing serious, like always somewhere safe or outside or something. But yeah, then the whole house would freak out and rush to go put out the fire, and I could sneak away and just go down to the beach. There was like this cove, this little secret stretch of beach that was just kind of hidden away behind the cliffy area. It's really hard to describe, but you can come visit and I'll just show you. Anyway, it was all hidden and it felt like my little kingdom. That sounds so lame to say out loud. But I would just go there and lie in the sand and look up at the clouds. Have you ever been to the coast? Near any ocean? Oh my God, you will love it. It's so open. Like you can see all the way to the edge of the world. Literally nothing beats the clouds over the ocean. They get so huge and puffy and massive and not even stormy, just these absolutely giant white clouds floating by. I used to imagine that, this is so dumb. I used to imagine that there were like cities inside, you know? Buildings and people and parks and gardens, and that maybe if someone just lowered down a ladder, I could climb. Or if I could get up high enough, I could hop onto one of these floating cloud cities and just live there. And hop from city to city, like each big cloud would be a new city, and I would travel between them, maybe solve crimes or mysteries. I think I thought that if I went out enough to my little hidden part of the beach and laid there and stared at the clouds, eventually someone up there would, I guess, notice me and realize that I was waiting for them to come get me, whisk me away to some exciting life in the clouds. I still feel like I'm waiting, you know? So, yeah, I do. It doesn't make any sense, but I do believe in destiny.
So you know how Sophie and Margaret are twins? Bedelia was a twin too. And I can't, what if I was a twin? And we got separated and switched somehow, like mixed up at birth. And I was supposed to have her life and she was supposed to have my life, and now we're all wrong. And until I find her and switch back, I'm not living the life I'm supposed to be.
You don't have to wait to find a long-lost twin to do what makes you happy.
Yeah. Wait, didn't your family notice that small fires kept popping up all over the house?
Oh yeah, I was caught constantly. Still worked though, you can't just ignore a fire. But seriously, ask her.
I don't know. Only one of us will get this gift, this honor. It's a whole thing. We have to show her that we're worthy, and then our ancestors are supposed to help her choose which one of us is ready. And then whoever that is can ask for whatever they want most, and they lead the family, symbolically, through the next generation. I don't know, I never really identified with that. I don't know.
Sounds like you do know. Show her you're ready. Ask her permission. She'll say yes, I'm sure of it. How could she not? You're obviously very smart. Not to mention, I like talking with you. You're easy to talk to.
Well, thanks.
There's a creaking sound. Maybe Bedelia? Victoria cranes her head around, trying to figure out if anyone's woken up. While she's turned away, Henrik touches the end of a piece of her hair. She doesn't notice.
I should probably go to bed. But, yeah, if you didn't mind getting those application materials sent here.
Not at all.
You'll have to have them addressed to you, not me, if that's okay.
Of course.
Thanks. And I would really appreciate if you...
I won't tell anyone.
Okay. Thanks. Well, good night.
Night.
Victoria sneaks back upstairs, leaving Henrik alone. He starts up the stairs and notices, for the first time, all the family portraits. He studies each of them, starting with the most recent one at the bottom of the stairs. The generations going back and back as he climbs. He gets to the very first generation. He walks back down to the bottom of the stairs and re-examines each portrait. When he reaches the top step, he goes back into the parlor. He begins examining everything. He picks up books and looks inside. He touches candle holders and knickknacks. He eventually makes it to the image of the man-eater above the fireplace. He stares at it. He thinks about touching it, but doesn't. He moves an armchair silently and places it in front of the portrait. He stares and stares. A stage in darkness. Victoria, Margaret, Sophie, and Bedelia all exit their bedrooms, dressed for the day. They stand in spotlights.
We are the descendants of our mothers before. We are of them, and they are of us. Our breath given through their strength will be the wind on which we howl. Our voice given through their sacrifice will be the thunder through which we rumble. Our agency given through their blood will be the path on which we tread.
We see, recognize, and accept all the gifts of our birthright, truth, autonomy, power, and volume, and strive each day to live in a way that honors these gifts and the mothers who died to give them.
We reject the false bonds that threaten to tie us. We reject the expectations of those that threaten to silence us. We reject the systems that we had no hand in creating.
We are the descendants of our mothers before us, and we will live in a way that honors their life and death until we return to the dirt as they did, as will the daughters that come after us.
The moon above the stage adjusts to its next phase. Scene 3, waning gibbous. The next morning, very early, Henrik asleep in front of the fire. Margaret enters in a robe. She looks over the railing and sees Henrik. She goes down to him. She gently shakes him.
Henrik. Henrik.
Hey.
What are you doing down here?
I don't really know.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got up to go to the bathroom and I don't know. I guess I just passed out.
Okay. You scared me. I thought you left.
Why would I do that?
I don't know. Hence why I got scared.
Sorry.
Just glad you're okay.
What's up with the painting?
Her?
The man-eater.
No. I mean, yes. But I was actually talking about,
He points to the family portraits.
Oh, it's our lineage, our ancestry.
Lots of girls.
Genetics.
And her?
That's Lilith. She came with the house. She keeps us guarded from evil.
It's like a little macabre.
I find her comforting.
Okay. So, I was wondering, who was, did you ever meet your father?
No.
What happened to him?
He died before we were born.
That's awful.
It's just the way it is.
So, you and Victoria have had different mothers, but the same father?
Yes.
So she's an orphan.
It's too early for all these questions.
Sorry. You're right. I need to head to the village to post a letter.
Can't it wait until after the holiday?
I'll be back before you know it.
I'll miss you. Don't leave.
Absence only makes the heart grow fonder.
I don't understand why it can't wait until after the solstice. What's so urgent?
Nothing that concerns you, sweetie.
Bedelia will take it personally. She won't like it.
Mags, I can't just put my life on hold because your mother might get mad at me. I'm sorry, but...
You're a rude guest, and it's embarrassing for me.
Have I done something? Because if I did, I'm sorry.
I don't want you leaving.
I'll be back in a few hours. Hey, don't do that. Don't just leave when something doesn't go your way. Listen. I want you to know that I didn't sleep down here to avoid you or...
I know.
I'm totally comfortable sleeping together. Just sleeping. I don't want you to feel pressured or...
This isn't about that at all.
Okay, but maybe we should talk about it.
I don't really see what there is to talk about.
Is there anything I could do to make you more comfortable?
I'm not going to have this conversation with you within earshot of my mother's room.
It's not normal, Mags. It's not normal for newlyweds to, or not to.
Henrik, I don't know. I don't want to talk about this right now.
Okay. When would you like to talk about it? Okay.
Henrik gets up and starts heading upstairs.
Where are you going?
I need to get going if I want to get back before dark.
Henrik!
He enters their room and shuts the door. Margaret alone.
Morning.
Hey,
How long were you listening in?
I've been up for a while, so
Great. Perfect.
let him go to the post office. He has no reason not to come back. Besides, you need a break.
Yeah.
I wish you would relax.
Can you?
You can't control everything.
And if he never comes back, there won't be another full moon on the solstice for what, 20 years?
Trying to get him to stay will only make him suspicious. We need him to trust us.
Well, someone could say something. An outsider in the village.
Never once, for hundreds of years, has a man that's been brought through that door lived beyond the solstice. I have faith. Lilith will protect us.
Things can go wrong. You know that.
I know.
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just being stupid.
No. You are not stupid. You're perfect. What happened to my sister, she brought it upon herself. It had nothing to do with the right. Trust in our mothers. They're with us, especially now.
I know. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's nothing to apologize for. So you haven't slept with him yet?
Mama!
No, this is a good thing. You don't actually need to.
That will make getting his contribution a little complicated.
I mean, there are ways to get what we need without ever letting him touch you.
Really? How?
Well, you just... Okay. The man who I had to do this with, I told him I got the most violent and troubling monthly cycles. Just blood absolutely everywhere and so much pain and fatigue. So I told him that the night we were married, that I was in the middle of my cycle, so I couldn't really do anything. But I would be so excited to just watch him.
Oh, Mama! Oh!
It was so weird. He looked so pathetic. And all I could think is, am I supposed to be excited by this? Are other women excited by it? Oh, yeah, I don't know how anyone can stand it. These women, they live in a world where they can't own property or vote or even walk into a room without a man assessing their worth based off desirability. I wished so badly Nevermoore could just expand, be this infinite expanding place, and I could take in all the women who have to sit at the dinner table and smile sweetly and nod and wait until their husband decides he likes to. Oh, it makes me sick. But it's enough to know that you three at least are free and safe.
We visited his parents on the way up here. And I was just so, his mother kept saying, we've missed you so much. We can't wait to show you the house we got you. We are so happy for you. It's right there in how you're talking, that you're literally not your own person. Wake up.
I know.
I'll try your technique on the solstice when the time comes.
Honestly, it might sound tricky to convince him, but trust me, it's not hard.
What are you two giggling about?
Oh, nothing too big.
As Victoria starts to head downstairs, Henrik enters, almost running into her.
Oh, sorry, good morning. How did you sleep?
Okay. I'm about to go to the post office.
Okay. Be safe.
Right. Ladies, I promise to be back with plenty of time. Don't miss me too much.
We won't.
So you're just letting him walk away?
He'll be back.
You look put together for once.
Thank you.
Girls hungry?
Bedelia stands. Her back twinges with pain, and she grabs a piece of furniture for support.
Mama?
Sit, I'll rub your back.
I'm fine. Just a little sore. I just need to stretch. Breakfast in a bit.
We shouldn't have let Henrik leave. He's so stressed.
About the right?
She trusts in the mothers, and we should too. She has nothing to worry about as long as we all stay focused and dedicated.
I've never seen her in pain this bad.
I really don't think it's about the right. I think just doing this all again. I mean, it's not like she's ever really dealt with what happened to her sister.
Sure she has.
I never heard her talk about it. Have you?
She died birthing Vic. What's left to talk about?
Knowing what happened isn't the same as talking about it.
The best thing we can do for her is pray.
Unless she's holding on to all that hurt and it's manifesting in her body.
Is that possible?
We can't prove it's not possible.
I wish we could help her.
Maybe we can.
Victoria goes to the bookshelves, searching.
There might be a remedy or... Wait, no. No! Look at this!
Victoria pulls out a handmade book from the shelves. Sophie jumps up and grabs it.
I completely forgot about this.
No way.
What is it?
When I Get the Endowment by Miss Margaret of Nevermoore.
No! It's so embarrassing, Sophie.
How old were we when you made this? 8?
Look, there's a picture of us.
Why are my fingers so long?
Because you played piano.
My family is a very special family.
Special. SPESHUL.
This is torture.
Our house is made of moonlight and keeps out all the bad guys. Look, you drew Lilith.
You somehow made her look scarier.
Shut up.
And when I grow up, if I'm good, I will get to dispose of the sacrifice, and Mama and all the other mamas will give me my heart's wish. Oh, there's Mama with all the other mothers standing behind her.
Why does everyone only have 4 fingers?
Hands are hard.
And what I wish for more than anything is to have twins, like me and Sophie, so they never have to be without a best friend, Maggie.
They hug. Victoria continues looking through books, pulling some out, making a pile.
Mama needs to see this. Mama!
Our whole lives have been leading up to this next month, but it somehow feels anticlimactic.
It doesn't feel how I thought it'd feel.
Victoria starts thumbing through the books. She shows a page to Margaret. On it is an image of a plant.
I've seen this before, right? By the old well? I think it might have a cooling effect. Do you think that would help with muscle tension?
I don't know. I hate going out to the moor. Too many bugs.
Right.
You're being very helpful.
I'm bored. I'm just trying to stay busy.
You're a really bad liar.
Not all of us are content to sit around all day watching the candles melt.
We are blessed beyond measure to have a leisurely life.
Yes, I know. We're very lucky.
Henrik has a sister, Ella. She and her husband came and visited us after we eloped. We had them over for dinner, roast vegetables, lamb, and potatoes. And when I went to serve his sister, her husband said, "Just vegetables, someone's still trying to lose the baby weight." And I waited for Ella to say something, or even Henrik, but no, nothing. She just laughed and shrugged, and throughout the whole dinner, anytime the baby cried, Ella took care of it. He never even looked up. It's just like, that's your job. She looked so tired, with like purpley bags under her eyes, and all her husband did was get drunk with Henrik while she fed and comforted their child. If you had seen what I'd seen, maybe then you'd be a little more grateful.
I begged Bedelia to let me go instead of you. She said no. I wanted to see things. I want to see things. You don't know me.
I know you, Vic. You act like life here is so difficult.
I have never said my life is difficult.
You don't have to say it.
I'm going looking for this.
Why?
I just want to help Bedelia with her back pain.
Why? So she'll think you're worthy? Huh, I knew it.
There's no reason I shouldn't be the endowed.
The mothers will help her decide who to choose.
And you just assume that's going to be you.
We both know she would never pick you over one of her full-blooded daughters.
I wish you could hear how mean you are sometimes.
Well, I can't.
Victoria puts on her shoes and coat and exits, Margaret alone. She goes to the portrait of Lilith and prays. Scene transition. Lights dim, the only real light coming from the fire and through the large windows. Snow starts to fall slowly, and then, as if in fast motion, filling the windows considerably. The light outside becomes low and then fades to dusk and finally night. Snow falls at its regular speed again. Scene 4. Waning crescent. That night, the moon has moved forward a phase. The 4 women enter. The energy in the room is high and tense. Victoria stands, bundling herself up in heavy winter clothes.
I should have gone with him.
We need to pray.
We need to find him.
Think he'd be stupid enough to get...
They're always stupid enough.
What if he's dead and frozen?
We can't think like that.
Can someone get me a lantern? Sophie?
You're not going to find him.
Well, I might.
Do not go so far that you can't see the lights from the house.
I heard you the first 50,000 times.
This isn't a joke.
I'm not joking, Bedelia. I heard you. You don't need to repeat yourself.
You don't need to talk to me like that. If searching the moor will make you feel better, then fine. But stay close. I don't want you out there long. I don't want you to getting sick.
Yeah, we all know how you handle medical emergencies.
Excuse me?
Nothing.
Sophie returns with a lantern. She hands it to Victoria.
Did I do something?
No. She just likes to be mad, so I say let her.
Can we not gossip?
It's not gossip, it's the truth.
I don't understand her comment.
Because she doesn't mean anything by it.
We've never had a medical emergency.
Well, that's not true. I mean, Mama, your sister.
That wasn't a medical emergency. That was a tragic accident.
Exactly.
Like she thinks I had some sort of control over... I would give anything to have my sister back. You two don't know how lucky you are.
We do, Mama. We're so thankful.
It just hurts that she'd blame me for something I had no control over.
Maybe you should talk to her about it.
I don't particularly like revisiting those memories. Maybe I should. She was her mother after all.
You don't owe Victoria anything. After everything you've done for us, she owes you.
No. No, you girls owe me nothing. Just your love and loyalty, that's all I need.
Victoria enters, supporting Henrik.
He got lost in the whiteout. He needs blankets, tea. We need to warm him up.
I can get tea.
Sophie, help?
Sophie moves a chaise in front of the fire and helps situate Henrik.
Bedelia,
Yes.
you had mail at the post office, a letter.
Bedelia takes it and stashes it on her person.
No, I don't think I did. You must be imagining things with the fever.
I am?
It's okay. Just close your eyes and try to get some rest.
Victoria and Sophie re-enter with blankets and cover him. Victoria touches Henrik's forehead. He's already fallen asleep. Margaret re-enters with tea.
He might need a doctor.
Oh, the fever will break.
And if it doesn't?
It will. Have faith.
Faith doesn't save lives. Medicine and training does.
That kind of mentality is exactly what we should be avoiding.
If the storm breaks, I could walk to the village, get a doctor.
And risk my daughter's life? Absolutely not.
I'm not your daughter.
I've raised you as my own.
After you let my mother die? I'm sorry.
I don't know what I've done to deserve this.
I'm sorry.
I want you to imagine for a moment.
Bedelia, please.
I want you to imagine how it would be for you three, after the rite. All growing lives inside you, getting excited, picking out names and tiny clothes. You start planning the rest of your lives together, raising your daughters as sisters, watching them grow, teaching them about the mothers, about Lilith. And you grow closer than ever before, bonding in a way you didn't know possible, getting bigger, starting to feel life inside you, sharing this unbelievable experience. And now imagine that day comes and you're terrified, but you're not alone. Margaret and Sophie are there, holding your hand, knowing exactly what you're going through, because they're going through it too. And finally, after you endure all that pain and labor and finally meet your precious girls and start to see all those dreams become reality, you have to watch as Sophie and Margaret bleed out in front of you. And you're left with 3 girls and no sisters. All your dreams and plans gone. What was supposed to be the best day of your lives becomes the worst. Just imagine that for a second. And then that girl, the one who killed your sister, your best friend, grows up and blames you for it.
Bedelia.
The full moon only lands on winter solstice every few decades. If he dies, our lineage dies with him. But maybe that's what you want. Maybe seeing me fail so particularly will finally make your anger feel justified.
Bedelia grabs a crystal decanter of liquor from the sideboard, then exits to her room.
I didn't mean it like...
Leave it, Victoria. Just please.
I didn't mean it like that.
And what did you mean?
This is what we do. We fight, she yells, and then she forgives me.
Okay.
She'll cool down and we'll talk it out in the morning. It'll be fine.
Okay, Vic. It's gonna happen to us if he dies.
Sophie exits, Victoria alone while Henrik sleeps. She goes to a stack of books and begins flipping through them. She tears out pages, keeping them for later. She exits to the kitchen. Scene 5. Waxing Crescent. A montage. The moon above the stage transitions through its next phases. The light outside the windows moves in fast motion through sunrises, sets, and nights. Victoria moves at regular speed, bringing Henrik various teas and remedies. He remains bedridden for weeks. As the moon nears its next full phase, time resumes to normal speed. Very late at night, Victoria alone by Henrik's bedside. She has various herbs in front of her as she researches in a book, taking notes.
Are you going to come to bed soon?
In a bit.
He would have died that first night if it weren't for you.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's working.
Do you think these are the same thing?
Victoria holds up an herb against an image in the book.
I don't know. Yes. I don't want to be wrong and kill him.
I thought you wanted the honor of killing him.
It only counts if it's on purpose.
With the heavy object?
Exactly. Bedelia and Margaret are too proud to say it, but thank you. He's getting better.
She's never going to forgive me.
Have you apologized?
No.
Well, I can't stop thinking about what she said, I can't imagine going through what she did. Watching her sister die, and she must have felt so helpless.
Yeah. At least if Henrik goes, I'll know I tried to save him.
Save him to be sacrificed.
Right. I'm sorry I messed everything up.
You're helping as much as you can.
No. With the right.
None of us knew that storm was coming. You couldn't have done anything.
But I'm the reason he went to the village at all.
What do you mean?
You can't tell them.
What did you do?
We had been talking about school and astronomy, and he had this whole book full of so much information, and that was just one book. Then he asked if I might want to apply to take some classes, so he was trying to get some, he was sending out for information and an application for me.
You can't leave.
I'm sorry.
Why would you even?
I was going to try to get the endowment. Ask for permission to leave.
Forever?
I don't know. You're angry.
You would choose to go live where you're seen as second class for books?
Don't say it like that.
Why? Because it makes you uncomfortable to hear the truth? We have freedom here. We can have hobbies and interests and live a life where our one goal isn't to become a man's property, because that's how they see us. A commodity to collect.
I wouldn't let anyone treat me like that.
Your mother died to give you this life.
I didn't ask her to.
I can't hear this.
If we went together and found other women, other people like us.
I'm happy here. I won't apologize for liking my life here. I can spend all day at the piano, eating what I want, when I want, not having to work.
Playing for empty rooms and scattered applause. I know almost nothing of the outside, but even I can hear that what you are able to compose and create without any formal training. You are special.
I told you. I don't care about that kind of thing. Doesn't matter to me. Making music brings me joy. I do it for myself.
Your music would be a gift to the world.
I don't want to give the world a gift. I'm content to be here, safe and free with my mother, my sisters, and soon our daughters. And if I could live out the rest of my life like this with all of us together and healthy, how could I ever complain?
You're content to stay here, breed, raise our daughters together, and just die? Be forgotten to time?
I never forget those who came before me. I walk by their faces every single day, and if you're afraid of being forgotten, that says more about you than it does about me. You think you can go out with no experience, no connections, or anything and create some sort of legacy?
It's not about legacy.
Then what?
I don't know. I don't know what it's about, and I won't know until I go and figure it out for myself.
Well, good luck with that. It doesn't even matter. If he doesn't get better by this solstice, it's over. The family will die with us.
I never wanted this to happen.
Sure.
If you think any of this makes me happy, then you don't know me at all.
I guess you're right about one thing then.
Victoria abandons her work and goes to the sideboard to retrieve a decanter of liquor. She sits in front of the fire and starts to drink. Henrik stirs. He starts pushing the obscene amount of blankets off of him.
Oh shit, you're alive.
And drenched in sweat. Oh God.
You've been in and out for a week. What do you remember?
Bits and pieces.
We all thought you were going to die. But lucky for you, I wasn't afraid to dabble in some non-traditional medicine. Also, just keeping you hydrated and warm. Water and sleep can do wonders.
So you saved my life? Thank you. Yeah, I mean, everything was fine until the snow started, and it just got so... I couldn't see anything.
You were actually really close to the house.
That's kind of pathetic.
Well, you survived. That's what matters.
Can I have some water?
Henrik sits up, feeling the sweat on his body. The sofa is sweaty too. He pushes it away and sits on the floor in front of the fire. Victoria returns with water.
Oh my God, so thirsty.
Same.
Shh.
Don't worry about waking her up. Ever since she got sick, she's been taking a bottle to bed with her every night. She's out cold.
She get mad at you for drinking some of her stash?
It's good enough for her. It's good enough for me. Why did you get into astronomy?
My dad really wanted me to get into academics.
No. Why did you get into astronomy?
Okay. I guess it makes me feel like there's something bigger than me, something cosmic at work, and somehow I fit into that. It's comforting. So if I had to go into academics, I figured it might as well be something that I could connect with.
Tell me about the university.
What do you want to know?
What's your favorite place on the campus?
The observatory. No question. It's just so big. The telescope itself, the room, and then when you look out, it's just, you would absolutely love it.
Yeah. I'd go there first thing in the morning before anyone else is awake, so I could spend hours looking at the moon. But then I would remember that I was late for my job. I work at a small cafe just a few blocks from the campus. And I would rush in right at the last minute, but no one would mind because all the patrons love me. And then after a busy shift, I'd go home right upstairs, a little apartment right above the shop, and take a look at my notes on the moon.
And then there'd be a knock, and I'd come in and tell you you're working too hard, and we need to go out and get rightly drunk.
Yes, we'd go to the seediest, dingiest bar, but everyone there knows me. The workers all know me, and we'd get into arm wrestling matches with the biggest, smelliest guys there. And then the sun would be coming up and we'd have just enough time to stop by the cafe and get some strong tea before we have to race back to the campus. Here's to impossible fantasies.
Why is it an impossible fantasy? I thought you were going to ask Bedelia.
We exchanged some words while you were on your deathbed.
She said no.
No, but I'm not going to ask.
Why not?
She will never, ever choose me for the gift.
Because you got in a fight?
Yeah. I blamed her for my mom's death. Yeah.
How did your mom pass away?
She died from blood loss, giving birth to me.
Oh.
That's her.
Victoria points to one of the family portraits.
She was my age when she died. We look really similar. And it's like, when Bedelia looks at me, I know she notices the similarities, but all she sees is how much I'm not like her. And it's exhausting. Like, my entire existence is an apology.
You didn't do anything wrong.
Doesn't change the fact that she's dead.
Nothing will. You might as well try and be happy.
Are you?
Trying, yeah. That came out wrong. I love Margaret.
I know.
And she loves me.
Okay.
Sometimes I just don't get her. I mean, maybe we move too fast. I move too fast. She's not nice to me. Whenever I talk, it's like I'm annoying her. When I walk into a room, she can't get away fast enough. She won't touch me or let me touch her. Sorry. Is this just how marriage is?
I don't know. Maybe for some people.
Sorry. She's your sister. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, I mean, it's not like she's nice to me either, so.
It's hard to believe you two are related. You're so different.
She would probably take that as a compliment.
But you and Sophie are friends?
We were. She's mad at me too.
What happened?
She doesn't support me going to school.
Well, screw her. No, seriously. I can see how smart you are. How talented, and if no one else can see that, then that's their problem, not yours.
I know you're trying to make me feel better, but...
Is it working?
I don't have anyone else in the world. Just like imagine that for a second. I mean, you have siblings and coworkers and friends, and I have literally no one except the people in this house right now. I'm not going anywhere unless I know they're with me. School would be great. It'd be amazing, actually. But I would rather stay here and have my family than leave and be alone, so.
But you wouldn't be alone. You'd have me and Margaret.
Right. I should go let her know you're better.
Wait, I'm so sorry you're stuck in this really complicated situation with Bedelia and Sophie. And trust me, I get it. I mean, look at me and Margaret. I get complicated. But you're not alone. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
So you're gonna ask her then?
I don't know anymore. I've been busy getting you better. I need time to think.
No, you're overthinking.
Okay, well, I should really tell everyone you're awake.
Just promise me something.
What?
Promise me you'll ask before I leave.
Maybe.
No, promise. Say yes.
Sure. If I can find the right moment, okay.
Don't be worried. Bedelia loves you. She'll say yes.
I'm gonna go get Margaret.
Henrik gets up. His gaze is drawn to the portrait of the man-eater. He stares at it.
You're okay.
If I'd known this was the kind of welcome I'd get, I'd gotten deathly ill sooner.
Don't tease. I've been praying so hard. I just didn't know.
I'm here. I'm okay.
Vic, wake Mama.
She doesn't want to talk to me.
Please don't argue. Please. I couldn't stop thinking about our last conversation. I haven't been fair to you.
It's okay.
No, it's not. I've never really been around that many married people. I'm so used to being able to do exactly what I want when I want to, and it's just kind of been a hard adjustment, this relationship. But I'm trying, really.
I know you are. Being here, well, at least when I've been here and conscious, it's helped me understand, I think. You had a sheltered childhood, and I understand that maybe this is scary, especially the physical aspects. So, you don't have to be scared of me, Mags.
Maybe we could try something when you're feeling better.
Whatever you're comfortable with.
Mama, look! Sophie, come look!
What happened? Oh, but how?
Victoria's medicine must have worked.
I really think it was mostly just water, sleep, and warmth, seriously.
Speaking of which, I'm still under the weather and I'm feeling a little tired.
Don't want you getting bad again.
Good night, everyone.
None of us knew what to do. Thank you for stepping up.
Sophie, I'm really sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
They embrace.
Can I talk with you privately? Okay. I know that
Wait. First, Sophie's right. I have been looking into home remedies and stuff, and yes, I did use some of what I was figuring out to help Henrik, but that wasn't why I started.
Victoria takes out a jar with a paste inside.
If you put a hot compress on your back where the tension is, and then follow up with this and kind of alternate back and forth, you should get some relief. And if it doesn't work, I have other ideas that I can try in the summer when there's more growing, so here.
you know, you didn't speak until you were 6 years old, which is funny to me now for obvious reasons, but you were just so quiet. You know, I had reached a point where I was like, this is Vic. And, that was that. I was fine. And then one day, it was Soph and Maggie's birthday. I was in the kitchen making their cake, and you just came barreling in, so upset and crying. And in your hands, you had this little mouse, like a field mouse, and its leg was broken. So I was trying to explain to you that sometimes in nature, animals get hurt, and there's not much we can do about it. And you looked right up at me and said, "Can we just try?" And I mean, I was shocked. I had just assumed that you didn't speak and that was a part of who you were. But then I realized that up until then, there had just never been anything worth saying. I miss your mother every single day. It's like a physical weight inside me that I've just grown accustomed to carrying around. And I can't really promise that I'll be more open with you, but I will.
I'm so sorry for what I said.
I know.
Are you mad at me?
Oh, of course not.
The moon goes through its next phases, landing just before being full again. Scene 6. Full Moon, Part 2. Winter solstice evening. Sophie is at the piano playing. Victoria enters from the kitchen carrying a tray with 4 wine glasses on it. She sets down the tray and sits with Sophie.
It's still not done, so just don't judge me if some parts sound weird.
I wouldn't even know what weird sounds like.
I showed Mama.
Your song?
No, my technique.
What did she say?
Nothing definitive, but I have such a good feeling about it.
Good. Good.
It was just in her tone. I could sense it. Are you ready?
I'm ready for it to be over.
Are you ready to be a mother?
I'm terrified.
Me too. But I don't think I'll ever not be terrified, you know?
Margaret joins them at the piano.
He's changed his outfit at least 5 times. I had to get out of there or else I was going to scream. Well, this is it.
Do you have it?
Margaret pulls a jar out of her pocket. Inside is a white substance.
Do you think our daughters will inherit his stupidity?
He is a college professor.
Yeah, a stupid one.
Our daughters will not be stupid. They'll be clever and resourceful and curious.
Yours will probably be artistic prodigies.
And yours will be... Sorry, what is it you do?
Nothing. Exactly the way I like it.
Oh, look at you all together.
Mama, I used your technique. It worked like a dream.
He shows the jar again.
Told you. Where is he?
He's having some outfit indecision.
Well, the clothes you die in should be carefully chosen. I know you all want to know who's been chosen to be endowed. I've been praying so hard, and I've been so moved by how hard you've been working to prove yourselves. And before I say anything, I need you to know that if I could, I would give all of you this honor. But only one in every generation can hold the revelations and receive the gifts of endowment. And as we know, the final steps to prove you're ready is to end the man's life, thus rejecting him from our home, just as we've rejected a society that does not serve us. It was not an easy decision.
Sorry, did not mean to hold up the party. What did I miss?
Actually,
What? Oh, I totally forgot you did the whole blessing. Shit.
We should just get a new one. We can do that, right?
Yes, actually, girls, I need some help in the kitchen for a moment. Henrik, you can...
Can I steal Victoria for a second? Just a sec, then she's all yours.
Sure.
Have you asked her yet?
This isn't a good time.
This is the best time. Mags and I are leaving tomorrow. What time could be better?
I was planning on asking after the celebration ends.
No, I want to be here. You need someone on your side. I just want to help.
You've already helped me.
Do you trust me?
Hey,
Mags, Bedelia?
No.
I know what I'm doing.
what?
Victoria has something to ask Bedelia. Go ahead.
No, I don't.
It's okay.
What's going on?
Oh, Victoria.
It's nothing.
It's not nothing.
Victoria, spit it out so we can move on with the evening.
I need to. I can't, please.
For the love of God. Bedelia, Victoria and I have been talking, and she's shown me some really amazing research she's done on astronomy. Done all by herself without any tools or equipment, might I add. And she's expressed interest in coming to town to get a real education. She's too afraid to ask your permission. And sometimes when you're afraid, you just need someone there to give you a little push. If you're worried about her safety, I'm sure she can stay with us, Mags, right? And then you'll know she'll be safe and sound.
That isn't going to happen.
Well, I don't think that's really your decision to make.
Oh, you don't think that's my decision to make?
There's no need for you to speak so snarkily.
And there's no need for you to speak at all, and yet.
Don't talk to me like that.
Well, and it keeps talking.
Margaret!
Don't say her name. Don't speak to her anymore. Don't look at her anymore.
Bedelia, I'm sorry.
You would be wise to stay quiet.
You're just gonna let your mother speak to your husband like this?
This is ridiculous. Mama, let me do it. Please, I'm worthy and I'm ready. Tell us who is going to be endowed and let's just end this.
I was talking to you.
I know that Maggie is worthy. I'm not trying to say she's not, but please, I want this so badly. I promise I won't let you down.
Hello?
Maggie, you are worthy. And you're ready. I know you are. But I'm sorry.
I'm talking to you.
Are you serious?
Hey!
I'm sorry, sweetie. The mothers all agree with my decision.
Fucking listen to me!
For someone with a limited number of breaths left, you seem hell-bent on wasting them.
Margaret!
Why did you say that?
I didn't. It's a stupid choice of phrasing.
No, what did you mean?
Nothing.
The women have positioned themselves, blocking the front door.
What is this? Hey, what the fuck is this?
Henrik.
No, back the fuck up.
Henrik looks frantically around the room. He notices the family ancestry portraits again. He points at them.
Genetics, babe. Let me out.
No.
Let me out now.
Sophie, Margaret, and Victoria all block the door. Henrik moves towards them but stops himself. He can't bring himself to hit a woman. He spirals, searching for a weapon or something to help him. His eyes go to the fire and the decanter of liquor. He takes the decanter and holds it threateningly above the fireplace.
Let me out, or I'll burn your precious house down.
You won't.
I loved you.
No, you didn't.
You are such a fucking bitch, you know that. We have been married almost 2 months, and I should have known you were a freak a long time ago. And you know, Victoria, a fucking toddler could have made that notebook. All your little research is so basic and elementary, it took everything I had not to laugh out loud on the spot. I only encouraged you because I was hoping at least one of you would put out while I was here.
Henrik in turmoil. He searches the room again. Maybe he'll find a way out this time. His gaze is drawn back to the man-eater.
And fuck this fucking creepy-ass picture.
Henrik throws a wine glass at the portrait and it shatters. Unsatisfied with the damage, he goes and rips the painting from the wall and throws it into the flames. When he rips the painting down, there is a discolored brick in the wall that was previously covered by the painting. It goes unnoticed by all. Henrik watches the painting burn. While his back is turned to the room, Victoria walks right up to him and smashes his head into the brick. She smashes and smashes. Bones crack, blood sprays. He falls, leaving a gory mess of blood and flesh on the brick wall.
Bedelia, I don't know what to say.
Victoria, I could scream at you and demand you apologize for planning to betray us. I could punish you or never speak to you again, but I won't do any of that because I love you. and I don't want to lose you. Everything I have done, I did to try to keep you happy here, to spare you from monsters like this. I'm sorry I failed you.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I ruined the rite. I'm so sorry.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. Only the endowed gets the honor of ending him.
I know.
What?
Oh, Vic.
Serious?
Mothers all agree. You're worthy. You will receive your heart's truest wish and lead your sisters into the next generation. We will bless Henrik's contribution, and you will all use it to conceive tonight. I forgive you. You're going to be an amazing mother and leader.
Congratulations.
Oh, Sophie, no.
Don't you dare. I'm so happy for you. I mean it.
Congratulations. I'm sorry I can't be happy for you right now, but I'll get there. I'll really try to get there, okay?
Yeah.
We have a lot of celebrating to do, but first, I want this out of my sight and out of my house.
I'll clean up the mess.
Girls?
Margaret and Sophie lift Henrik. Bedelia, whose back has drastically improved, helps too. They carry him out. Victoria exits to the kitchen and returns with cleaning supplies. She begins to scrub the wall. As she scrubs, she realizes the discolored brick is loose and pulls it out. Inside the wall is a bundle of envelopes. She stands in front of the fire and begins to read.
Before you jump to any conclusions.
My dearest Victoria, it is so beautiful here in the summertime. There is a lake near my house with the clearest water I've ever seen. It is the perfect way to end a hot day. Happy first birthday. My dearest Victoria, I spent the entire day at the library. There are so many books here, sometimes it makes me feel lightheaded. I hope one day you can see it for yourself. Happy birthday. My dearest Victoria, I don't know why I keep writing these. I know Bedelia will never let you see them, but even so, I'm sorry I couldn't protect you or your brother. I wasn't ready to be a mom. I wasn't ready for any of it. Everything just happened so fast, and I didn't know there was any other way to be. You might hate me for leaving you behind, but in that moment after I saw what Bedelia was capable of, I knew I had to choose myself or nothing at all. So I chose myself. I needed to know who I was without anyone else, and even though it's caused me pain and guilt, I have never regretted my decision. I understand you may never forgive me for leaving you behind, but I need you to know I have loved you every single moment of every single day since I left. I think of you constantly and fantasize about you coming to find me. If not now, maybe in the next life. I dream of showing you oceans and taverns and deserts and cities. You have no idea how beautiful and how big the world is. I would like to know you. If by some act of fate you are reading this, if you can ever find it in your heart to forgive me, and if you think you might like to know me too, please write back. Even though I can't be the mom I was expected to be, I still have so much love to give you, should you choose to accept it. I can hardly believe you're a grown woman now, and I can only imagine how amazing you've grown up to be. Happy birthday. With love, forever, Mom. She's alive?
She's dead to me.
She's happy.
She doesn't remember what it is to be truly happy.
What brother? Bedelia.
The mothers demanded it. I am endowed. It is my responsibility to keep us safe.
Did they demand you hide it from us too? Did they demand you lie and lie and lie.
Victoria, stop it! Stop it! I can't breathe. Please, I need some water.
Mom, sit down. I'll get water.
What else have you lied about?
Leave her alone.
You're seriously going to side with her.
She's my mother.
She's a murderer.
Well, then so are you.
It's a crime.
Why? Because a judge a million miles away said so? Because someone else's holy book said so? I don't remember having a say when those laws were written, and I certainly didn't agree to follow someone else's doctrine. This is what it takes, Victoria. Mama, it's not too late. I have always been ready for the honor of leading this family.
There's no honor in that.
You just pulverized Henrik's face against the bricks, and you're going to try and tell me it didn't feel good? That it didn't feel righteous?
It's not about that. It's about the lie. Bedelia, you chose every single day to lie.
I have always done the hard thing. I have always done what I had to do to keep us safe and free.
You've done the easiest thing. You've just spun this version of events that gives us no choice but to see this place, see you as the only good, right thing in the world. The hard thing would have been telling the truth, letting us figure it out on our own.
Don't do this. I can't lose any more family. I know you're angry with me, and I should have told you the full truth, but please, please don't leave Victoria. You are a daughter to me. If you would just let me go through with the endowment ceremony, then you will understand everything. I promise. Lilith herself gave me a vision of you. Your future is so glorious. You have no idea.
I know.
Your heart's desire is to get answers, an explanation. I can give you that.
I don't want your explanations.
I'm not strong enough to overpower you. If you really want to walk out that door, I guess there's nothing I can really do to stop you. All I can do is tell you I love you. And if you leave today, tomorrow, in 5 years, if you leave, I will tell my granddaughters you died too.
So,
Please don't do this.
you're honestly satisfied playing for an empty living room? Composing with watery ink?
I'm satisfied to be with the people I love and safe and cared for.
This is proof it's not like that.
For one person. And those are just letters. Think about how much she's not saying, or someone could be forcing her to write all those nice things. They don't prove anything.
Sophie, please, you need to be heard.
Sophie walks towards the kitchen.
This is what you want? Impregnate yourself with a dead man's stolen semen, then cash out his blood money? What if you give birth to a son?
I won't. I have faith.
Don't make me do this by myself. Please.
Victoria reads a few more lines off the letters. She puts on her coat and shoes. She grabs the handle of the front door, then turns back to the living room. She goes to the piano and opens the bench. Inside, she pulls out a huge stack of sheet music, all original compositions. She puts them in her bag and walks out the door. Sophie runs into the empty room. She pauses, then goes to the piano. She tries to play, but it's all wrong. Finally, she gives up. She slams down on the keys.
We are the descendants of our mothers before. We are of them and they are of us. Our breath given through their strength will be the wind on which we howl. Our voice given through their sacrifice will be the thunder through which we rumble. Our agency given through their blood will be the path on which we tread.
We see recognize, and accept the gifts of our birthright, truth, autonomy, power, and volume, and strive each day to live in a way that honors these gifts and the mothers who died to give them. We reject the false bonds that threaten to tie us. We reject the expectations of those that threaten to silence us. We reject the systems we had no hand in creating.
We are the descendants of our mothers before us, and we will live in a way that honors their life and death until we return to the dirt as they did, as will the daughters that come after us.
The moon is full. End of play.
I read the signs, I got all my stars aligned, my amulets, my charms, I set all my false alarms, so I'll be someone who won't be forgotten. I've got a question, and you've got the answer. To make the rain come, smile to keep the sky from falling down, 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 down. Collect the love that I've been given, build a nest for us to sleep in here. You know it's real. Check my palms, the cracks in the sidewalk, my visions and my dreams. I cross all my fingers that you'll be someone who won't be forgotten. What was your question? I've got the answer. To make the rain come, smile to keep the sky from falling down, 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 down. Collect the love that I've been given, build a nest for us to sleep in here. You know it's real. Turning blue. Tell me love is endless. Don't be
so pretentious. Leave me like you do. If you need me, wanna see me, better hurry, 'cause I'm leaving soon. Sorry, can't save me now. Sorry, I don't know how. Sorry, there's no way out. Sorry, but down, down. Taste me, the salty tears on my cheek. That's what a year-long headache does to you. I'm not okay, I feel so scattered. Don't say I'm all that matters. Leave me. Deja vu. If you need me, wanna see me, you better hurry. I'm leaving soon. Sorry, can't save me now. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know how. Sorry. Sorry, there's no way out. Sorry, but down, down. Call my friends and tell them that I love them, and I'll miss them, but I'm not sorry. Call my friends and tell them that I love them, and I'll miss them. Sorry. All of this turbulence wasn't forecasted. Apologies from the intercom, and I am relieved that I'd left my room tidy. They'll think of me kindly when they come for my things. They'll never know how I'd stared at the dark in that room with no thoughts, like a blood-sniffing shark. And while my dreams made music in the night, carefully I was going to live. You wouldn't leave till we loved in the morning. You'd learn from movies how love ought to be, and you'd say you love me in
you know the Liberty Bell is a replica silently housed in its original walls, and while its dreams played music in the night quietly, it was told to believe. I always wanted to die clean and pretty, but I'd be too busy on working days. So I am relieved that the turbulence wasn't forecasted. I couldn't have changed anyways. I am relieved that I'd left my room tidy. Goodbye. How you ain't say you was moving forward. Honesty hurts when you're getting older. I gotta say I'll miss the way you need me, yeah. Why you ain't say you was getting bored? Why you ain't say I was falling short? How you leave me out so far away? How could it be 20-something all alone, still not a thing in my name? Ain't got nothing, running from love, only no fear. That's me, Miss 20-something. Ain't got nothing, running from love, wish you were here. Oh, stuck in them 20-something.
Welcome back, everyone. Woo, that was fun. Woo. I want to thank the cast and the director, Kari Willenbrink, Manda Neal, Makaila McColley, Gillian Abrams, Alec Ring, and director Kari Ragan. Thank you so much. And we are here with our mentors. Back is Martine Key Green Rogers, Erin Carter, and Julie Felise Dubiner. Welcome, everyone. For those of you just joining us for the first talk back, really, honestly, I just let everybody talk, and Eryn is here to hear notes. So I think you all have plenty to talk about. I'm gonna let you start.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for sharing this. I have to admit that this was a roller coaster. I'm gonna just go ahead and own that the entire play, I was texting Julie like, oh my gosh, oh my goodness, what is happening? Oh shit, oh my God.
We could share those texts later. It's pretty. Would like to see that. Yes.
It was pretty hilarious.
It was super fun.
It's so interesting. Can I know I'm going to be weird for a moment, but can I start with asking a question?
Please. Yeah.
So one of the things that I clocked pretty quickly was that it's set in the 19th century for all intents and purposes, yet it feels very also contemporary at times and not. And so I guess really the question is, why do you feel like you need to set it anywhere for all intents and purposes?
Yeah, I was interested in exploring kind of like, I think when we think about, you know, back then, the 19th century, the before times, we're like, oh man, it was so rigid, it was so misogynistic, it was so this, it was so that. And then so I thought marrying that setting with contemporary characters, contemporary dialogue, kind of my hope is to heighten this idea of like, this is not a back then thing. The issues talked about in this play, you know, you could write them off as something as the time, but it's not. And so I was just really interested in putting contemporary women in a 19th century, more rigid society, and kind of seeing how that conflicting image, to use a very OU term, kind of how that lives in the mind of the audience. So, I mean, really, I'm anxious to hear how it functioned for you all. Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. Like, I think there's a part of me personally that I don't know. I mean, I guess I hear you, and I'm not sure if I needed all that. And the only reason why I say that, and maybe the problem is I'm just like way too in tune to like the shenanigans and tomfoolery of our current era, and so like it wouldn't have been hard for me to make any connection at all. But I also get that it's there is a lot of like potential there in terms of it. So I'm just gonna stop talking and let like Julie and Eryn throw in their 2 cents.
I'll jump in. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'll jump in because I'm excited. No, I totally follow that, and I'm a huge sucker for the sort of taking things out of time or sort of the re-examination of history with like a little bit of attitude or sass or whatever. I think for this, I kept getting a little, and I loved it, by the way. Like Martine and I really did have like the best time. It was like watching a show together in the best way. But I think there's sort of like, it's sort of, this is Gracie. She has some notes too. But it sort of skates a little bit between sort of goth and steampunk in a way. And I kind of, in a way that I had a little trouble latching into just it's a world building question, right? Of just sort of like, what are the rules of the world that you have set up? And so I feel like it fluctuates a little bit in a way that left me a little confused at times, but it's really like, it's just a matter of sort of picking one and then really, really running with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think I have some kind of world building questions as well. I mean, first of all, I want to echo, I did not get to be on the awesome text chain. I'm a little...
No boys allowed, Eryn. No boys allowed.
That explains. In that case, I accept. Suddenly I'm fuzzy. There we go. But yeah, so I first of all, really enjoyed the play. I've really, since I got to read a couple earlier drafts, I also want to commend you on some of the refinement that you've been doing. There's a couple new things in this draft that I really clicked into. And I think the biggest one for me, just to highlight as having a little kind of contrast, is the sharpening of this idea of the endowment and the selection and the competition among the sisters. Was really compelling. I do have some questions about the rules of that as well. But before we start really diving into kind of all the things that we're curious about, I just want to start by highlighting that particular shift. I thought really worked well. And I thought you did some interesting new things with Henrik and kind of what he represents and what he presents to Victoria, the daughter who wants to leave, you know, and kind of how that relationship develops, that I think is a real step forward as well. So kudos to you on that.
Thank you.
So always love me a family drama, and this was some family drama. I was leaning all the way into this as we kind of talked about earlier. And I just wanted to highlight some of the things that were just some lines that were really, really freaking fascinating to me. Like one of my favorite moments was when Bedelia was like, "You don't owe me anything," but then followed with "except." And then came out of her mouth with "love and loyalty," which I was like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Not wanting to owe anybody anything. I was like, okay, Bedelia, I see you. See you. All right. And what does that say? Something only counts if it's on purpose.
Killing him only counts if it's on purpose.
Yeah. Ooh. I was having all kinds of moments watching this play. And part of the reason why I think it's interesting is that one of the things that's fascinating to me, and this is something I've just been thinking about personally, that this brought up for me while watching this, is just like replications of like behavior. Like one of the things that's interesting to me is like how, for example, in this very sort of matriarchal family, that like replications of like misogyny could potentially exist. And I find it interesting that there's like this sort of Bedelia has sort of created a cult of personality around her, using her daughters as like the pawns to keep this going. And I found that really fascinating. And then even more so, the idea of protecting that matriarchy at all costs. And granted, I have no love for Henrik. Like he can go have several seats somewhere in a corner. But it was also just fascinating to me, like how sort of, you know, tracking Vic and like thinking about how she almost fell right back into this pattern. It wasn't until after she found the letters that she realized that maybe all of this was a mess and she needed to get out of it. And so I found that revelation really fascinating and interesting. And like I said, a lot of it is just boiling around just things that I'm thinking about in my own sort of personal existence at the moment. So like, thank you for sort of cracking some of that open and making me see a larger perspective on all of those things that I'm thinking about anyway. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then the last random thing I would say, and then I promise I'm going to shut up for a second, is I knew we were in trouble when Lilith was on the wall. I was like, what, and what? I texted Julie and I was like, Lilith? All caps. Okay, I'm done.
Well, and just to, I'll just keep jumping in on all of Martine's good ideas. But just the to me too, that the idea of like sort of looking at it like a big metaphorical level, right? Of just sort of like, this is a system that keeps replicating itself, right? And so what is the system and who is it serving, and is it worthy of continuing, right? And that, you know, certainly is a question that I think a lot of us are thinking about these days in our own lives. And to me, that question, like I wanted a little bit more information. I don't want to destroy the mystery, but I did need a little bit more of a handhold of why Lilith. Is it the Lilith I'm thinking of, or is it something else going on? Like, what was the original, you know, I was saying to Martine in our text, like, is this a curse or is it a gift, right? And like that, you know, that sense, like, obviously that could be different for each character and maybe even each generation, I don't know, but just like, is it biblical Lilith or is it something else? Like, what started this? You know, maybe this is, again, like, I don't want your play to get overloaded with too much you know, explanation of like all the little things, but I felt like I needed a little bit more about what it does mean to get the endowment, what will happen if the water bottle filled with sperm doesn't, you know, do its magic today. You know, like, what are the ramifications if this world is lost? And why are people fighting so hard to save it? The revelation, I have to say, it just like, I'm really good at figuring things out. Like I'm awful. You don't actually want to hang out with me because I totally try to figure it out. The brother took me totally by surprise. Like, I just did not see that one coming in the best possible way. And so I think there's something really beautiful in how you have structured the revelations. But I also just needed a little bit more, especially that question of like, what, like, other than for the three of them or the four of them, you know, obviously they lose their house, their line is lost, right? But like, is there something bigger to be lost? If whatever this scheme is doesn't succeed? I sort of lost, like, I got totally invested in these sisters and the mom in like a massive way, but just trying to figure out like what is the system that we're disrupting.
Got it. Thank you.
I'll chime in on that and just say that along those lines of kind of wanting a little bit more understanding the mechanics, is the relationship between the endowment impregnating and the gift of gift of your choice or the wish of your choice, right? There is, and I don't know if it's intentional, but there were several times where I just was like just mixing the three of those things up, right? And at times they felt distinct, like the endowment was. At times I felt like the endowment was the euphemism for being the one who became pregnant and continued the line. And yet at the end of the process, there was that line about all three of the sisters inseminating themselves. And then I didn't know if that was a break from pattern or if that was the plan all along. And then because I was wrestling with those things, the idea of being allowed to ask for anything at times felt magical, and it was really magical when we saw it through the child's eyes through the book, which I love that little detail, by the way, of finding the children's story from their own past. And so there were times that felt magical, and then times that it felt like, for example, Victoria really could ask to go to university. So I was just having trouble kind of lining up what the rules of that process were, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
So
can I throw something in? And it is totally possible that I missed this because I didn't read the script ahead of time. Why was it Margaret's responsibility to bring in the sacrifice, yet that doesn't necessarily correlate into getting the endowment?
Is this rhetorical, or would you like me to expand?
It is. I mean, it's just a question that I have, and you can either answer it or not answer it. But it is a question that is lingering.
Yeah, I think that Margaret's such a fun character. This idea that one of them gets to go out and be this like almost kind of Venus flytrap, essentially. Is not necessarily tied to the endowment, but I think for the sisters, they know that if Bedelia trusts one of them to go do that, they're probably in good shape to get this honor of being the leader, being the next Bedelia. But you're absolutely right that it's not super, super clear.
And the only reason why I was even poking at it is because what was interesting to me is this idea of the competition between the three of them. And you would think maybe and I know that there was a little bit of like, I should be able to go out, or I should be, but part of me is just curious, like how did that decision, I missed, and I might have dismissed it. How did the decision even come about? Is she technically the oldest out of the twins, and that's how she got pushed out into the, like, I'm just curious what these rules are.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do think you did a really lovely job of helping me keep the characters straight. That just the three girls are like, I know I have a really good sense of who they are, and they are distinct from each other, even though they're trapped in the same house together with all the portraits. And so I did want a little bit more, like Margaret, I feel like it took a little, maybe because she wasn't there right at the beginning, so it took a little bit to ramp up, and then she really is such a fun character. What a delicious part for some actor to get to play. Sophie, I got a little, she sort of does a little zipping in and zipping out, which I think could totally work, and also, it's like the challenge of doing a reading instead of a production. So but I did, like, there's something I found myself really drawn to her, because she's sort of between, like, you have the triangle, right? So you have the two poles of, I want to leave, no, you must stay, and then the girl that you don't know what she's actually going to decide. And so I just sort of want to make sure, this might be a question that comes up more in a rehearsal for a full production, but just something to sort of drop in the head of just like, how much should I be concerned for her? How much am I on tenterhooks that whether she's going to stay or go? That those kind of questions. I think she's a real great character for you to play with as all the characters are making their decisions, right? Or making their needs known, because she's the one who's actually more on the fence,
right?
And the music aspect of it, I think too, is something you could really, really play with, right? I was very, very moved that Victoria has her stars and Sophie has her music, and Margaret has never seen the need to question anything, right? Or to cultivate anything, and like there's nothing from her soul that is sparking other than the continuation of this system. And that's there's something very compelling about that.
This is something that I don't think actually needs to be answered. And to be honest, you could do not a single thing about it and it'd be fine. But one of the things that I'm going to own that my dramaturgical brain did, and for lack of better terminology, I'm just going to refer to this as the deus ex machina of the letters, is really thinking through. Part of me is like, okay, and this is really just the sort of extension my brain did. I was like, okay, how long did Bedelia think she was really going to be able to hold up this charade, especially if this gets back into the rules of what the endowment is. Like if she learns all the things and that, obviously we don't get that far, but if she is going to learn all the things she wanted to know, how long did Bedelia really think this was going to work out for her? Because if she learned all the things she needs to know, she's going to know those letters are back there and that her mom is still alive and like all these things. And so, and then I also just thought it was interesting in that the reveal of the letters comes because she like bashed in this dude's head. And so I just have there are just so many things about Vic that I have questions about, but they're actually really good questions because one of the things I texted to Julie was, I find it interesting that Vic is trying to take the high road considering she just murdered someone. And she was basically ready to subscribe to this life if it hadn't been for the magical letters falling into her lap. So I just find, and so basically what I'm saying is I think you've created a really interesting and sort of deliciously complex person in Vic. And there is just a small part of me that wishes that she wasn't as flip floppy as she was, but but I also understand why she is that way, if that makes sense.
The letters are fascinating to me. And again, it was the good kind of surprise. It was not the what the fuck kind of surprise. Oh, sorry, the hell kind of surprise. Am I allowed to swear? I swear a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi.
My name is Julie. I have a swearing problem.
I do. I'm a real lady. But the visit to the post office. I feel like there's a couple of bits of setup that I got in retrospect, which is maybe exactly what you wanted, but just sort of the Henrik's desperate need to go to the post office. I feel like there's probably something more of the desperation of it being the post office and not town that the women don't want, or that Bedelia doesn't want him to leave. And then that final letter that she hands off, or that he hands off to Bedelia when he gets back to the post office. I may have just missed a stage direction, but do we see Bedelia put it in the wall, or do we just see Bedelia?
I don't have it written that we see her put it in the wall. We see.
I don't know if I
take
want
it.
that. I'm just really curious.
Yeah, but definitely, that's my little, hey, there's letters. Remember this because it's coming back later. But no, we don't see her put it in the wall as it's written right now.
And I have to admit, I did clock that. I was like, did she really just you did not see any letters?
Those are not the letters you're looking for.
You're looking for. Yes, both of them.
Yeah, she really did. She really did.
Yeah. To jump in on one thing Martine was scratching at, I think, and this might be a staging question as much as it is a script question, but so when the clan has surrounded Henrik and it's clear that his life is in danger, and intellectually I know that they are waiting for word from Bedelia about who has the endowment to see who can spring forward and end this guy's life. But there's something about, and again, it may just be the reading of it all, but there's the tension of waiting for that order and waiting for that information dissipated a little bit in there. And I think what I'm set up for is the tension of that waiting, that last dumbass comment he makes about the journals, Victoria's research, and then she snaps and then kills him, right? I feel like that's the crescendo. And so I would just take a look at that section in terms of the text and see. I think there's a little too much talking actually to get that. Is my instinct, but again, staging issue. But the reason I'm harping on it is because to unpack some of what Martine is talking about, understanding that as a rash act, as a response to this insult, understanding what he like, did he in that comment crush her dream of being outside because she had bought into the idea that she had an aptitude and he was actually just, stringing her along because he was hoping to get some action, like just kind of like really her response and how that unfolds is going to be really a big key of unwrapping the stuff that Martine was talking about in terms of her flip-flopping and her motivation. And so I think is going to take some very careful choreography. And so I invite you to examine it.
Thank you.
And I also, just to sort of echo a little bit of that as well, I was very intrigued by Henrik in a way that was probably unhealthy. And the reason why I say this is because I was very much focused on like, is he gonna try and make a move on her? Is he gonna try and make a move on her? What is gonna happen with this? And I actually kind of enjoyed the fact that I couldn't tell. And I wasn't sure. And it wasn't until like later on a little bit later with the reveal that like there was nothing going on but the rent between like him and I probably just dated myself with that reference, by the way. But and if you don't know that song, everybody should look it up. But between Henrik and Margaret, but I was like, okay, this makes more sense. And I wasn't and I wasn't really sure what to think of it, but in a good way. I wasn't sure what to think of what was transpiring between the two of them. So thank you for all of that. The end.
Thank you for that comment.
I agree, although I would also, I don't want to fight with Martine, but I agree, but I also, I felt like at the end, and I realize he's surrounded by a bunch of women who are clearly a danger to him, so, 2 points for that, but I did sort of have trouble just sort of figuring out with Henrik, like where, for lack of a better term, like where he is on the sliding scale of good and evil, right? Of like, is he just like, I was taking him as just simply sort of like, he actually seemed fairly progressive for a man of his time when we first met him, right? The fact that he was even talking to Victoria about her scholarship and her studies and all of that. And then he, clearly becomes a man of certainly, this version of Victorian, Edwardian, yada yada, but his flip at the end where he is so cruel to Victoria, it totally deserves getting theater bashed in the head with a brick, but at the same time it seemed out of character for who I thought he was, for all of his contradictions. And so it's just something, it's just sort of looking at the way that build works at the end. I think we've touched on this a little bit, right? Like there's just some confusion at the end. And that's okay because a lot's happening. But just sort of figuring out, making sure that like the different points that you're making are getting their time, right? Like that this is, that the endowment, the letters, the bashing in the head, the fire, like we haven't even talked about the fact that like he lit Lilith on fire yet, and so like all of like what do all of these things build to in terms of like in that moment of chaos, what do you want to control as a writer? What do you want to control in that chaos? And then what is the aftermath of the chaotic moment? So it's just sort of there's just something to be judged a little bit coming in and out of that.
Yeah. If I could just speak to that for one quick sec. Thank you so much. Something that's been really important for me about figuring out Henrik is that I've found often some of the most dangerous men I've met are the very progressive ones, the ones who say all the right things, the ones who are like, I'm a feminist, I listen, like, I'm on your side. And because they think they have this shield of progressivism, I don't know if that's the right word, I feel like often I have found in experience, I do see these men going out and committing violent acts. And it's like, oh, I thought you were such a good guy, but I guess the internalized misogyny is really deep rooted. And I just wanted to explore with him what happens when a very well-meaning, for all, appearances, progressive, feminist man gets backed into a corner and like truly stripped of his power, like what ugliness like comes out from that, because of my experience, real dark ugliness can come from the men that we trust most.
Oh,
sometimes. Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have been welcomed into that sorority as well. But I also like just and I'm not going to harp on it, but just the Victoria is not the one that has been like, she doesn't have the brick yet, right? And he doesn't know what's going on yet. And so maybe it's just a matter of like, when does she get the brick, or like, who is that? Like, does he need to strike out at all of them, right? It's like, I think he's definitely challenged Bedelia, but does he need to challenge Margaret? Does he need to challenge, I mean, he hasn't really had too much to do with Sophie yet, but like, I would then love to see him like, like to not love, that's such a weird way of putting it, right? Theater is so weird. But I would love to see him theatrically in a theater, not in real life, be cruel to all of them, right? Until it's finally around to Vicky, right? That is, there is something to the fact that she is the one that in a weird way, even more than his wife, that he's gotten to know the best. So, certainly she is in the most danger of that version of, of meanness. But there's something I would like, then really let him snap, right? Like really let him show his true colors after having been, Miss Dash would give me something to do or I shall go mad, right? It's like let's take it all the way, right?
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that you mentioned that, Julie, because one of the things that I mean, part of me saw it coming because there was a different moment. I can't remember when it was in the play, but I was like, ooh, I see you. There was something that he said to somebody, and I was like, oh, there's something underneath
an interaction with Margaret that's very condescending.
Yeah, and I think also when Margaret was telling the story about when they went to dinner and how he didn't do anything about, and I was like, okay, so like he's not what I think he is. And so part of me wonders if, getting back into sort of Julie's comment, if it's a little bit of, a slow burn on us finding out more and more that he's not quite the person. Because I feel like it's one of two things. It's either a slow burn on finding out that he's not the person we think he is, or just the complete snap. Sure. And both of them are probably equally effective. The question is, which one makes more sense for the story you're trying to tell? But yeah. And Julie, I would never disagree with you.
That's so not true.
I mean, that is not true, but still.
We're good enough friends that we can fight it out, though.
Exactly.
That's good. Well, at risk of, I don't think I'll disagree with either of you.
That's smart move.
I can read a room. I think the thing that I would throw into the mix of this conversation is, Eryn, in your analysis of these types of men and how you want to theatricalize them in this, is Henrik someone who has an agenda that he hides? And the line about one of you was going to put it, hoping one of you was going to put out this weekend, felt like an agenda that he hides, versus someone who is cornered and their antipathy comes out, which like the line about Victoria's notebooks being childish, right? They're not necessarily mutually exclusive. At a first blush, they feel like two different analyses, and so I would be curious about which one you want to lean into, if you agree that you would want to lean into in this moment. I think it's probably a different way of saying slow burn versus snap, but that's what I was thinking about, because one version feels like I'm conscious of the things that I am hiding, and then when I'm cornered and I'm not going to get any of those things, I just like try to burn the world. And the other, that person is less conscious of the mental double talk, and it comes out under pressure.
Yeah, the best, thank you for that, No. The best analogy I can think of how I like want Henrik to be is like, he is the guy who you match with on Tinder and is like, hey, what's up? You're cute, wanna fuck? And you're like, no, thank you. And he's like, well, fuck you, you're ugly anyway. And so that's kind of like the type of, I guess, reveal I've been going for in this last moment. So this gives me a lot to think about of, yeah, like how conscious is he of his behavior, and is there a way to kind of like tighten that moment up? Because my like dream would be that final moment, that outburst is as gross and shocking, and but also like, oh, okay, okay, that's who you are, like one of those kinds of moments, if that makes any sense at all.
Oh yeah.
I have one more question, and I think I had to refresh that a couple of times. I might have missed a couple of things. Do we know for sure what choice Victoria makes in the end, or is that left hanging? I will say that I don't know, but I think it might have also been technical issues. So that's.
I'm curious to hear what you all have to say about her final moment.
Excellent. I don't know.
Right, about what is she choosing?
Yeah, like, is she gonna leave? Is she gonna embrace the life? Like what? Like
I
what?
just assumed she was out the door, but maybe that's me.
Yeah, that was my assumption too, because it was also, I love that she grabbed Sophie's music.
And I think that was a thing. I was like, well, why would she grab it if she's not going somewhere?
Gotcha.
It may have been the ending I wanted instead of the ending you wrote, but that was what I wanted. Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have to admit, my question was, is she gonna go like put it out in the world against Sophie's wishes, or is she just gonna pawn this off as hers? That's the question I have. She's gonna get her money, since no one seems to have any money in this world. Isn't like shared.
There's not a lot of money in astronomy,
Right. Please don't tell me what that works in the astronomy department at my school that I laughed at that.
That's all right. They would just remind you there's not a lot of money in the arts, and I think even.
Any final thoughts, or Eryn, do you have any specific questions to end us with?
No, nothing specific. Just hearing impressions from folks who are unfamiliar with it, except Eryn. But it's just helpful to hear these first perceptions, and kind of know how it's landing and how it's working for you all. And I just so appreciate your comments and your time.
No matter what you do to this play, all I got to say is, if I had popcorn and I would have just been all in, all the ham and cheese sandwich in. So just know that you have a really amazingly fun story. And I use that word very carefully, considering some of the things that are happening in it. But I was in it to win it, whatever that means.
Thank you. It's like the best comment ever.
We probably should actually screenshot our conversation and send it to her. Like when we found out about the brother, we both texted each other at the same time, brother, in all caps with exclamation points.
I have to give a shout out to my dramaturg, Juliana Simons. She was the one who was like, oh, I thought that Victoria had a twin brother and Bedelia killed him. And I was like, I think she did. I think yep. So Juliana, if you are watching this, I credit you fully. Thank you so much for singing that.
Very cool.
Thank you all for being here. This was great feedback. Thank you,
Yes.
Julie. Thank you, Eryn. Martine, we'll see you back. Eryn, we'll see you back. Julie, we'll see you back. Okay, good. This is not goodbye. Okay, awesome. We are back at 4 o'clock with Ivan Mosley's play, All to Bear in Heaven. So like I always say, get a bite, walk around the block. It's not yet raining here in Athens. And I know you've said this, but I also just want to thank all of our stage managers. I have no idea how this magic voodoo happens that we go back and forth between Zoom and YouTube, but it is flawless. And I just want to say thank you to all the stage managers. So thank you again, and we will see you at 4 o'clock.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye. Congratulations.
Congratulations.